What's happening, everybody? It's Chris here. It's a little bit different video this time from me normally playing, but I get a lot of questions about every week, every time I put a video up. And a lot of people ask, what's my setup? How much do I spend on my setup? What setup should they do? And I'm going to try to address that in this video. I'm actually going to go in depth everything that I have, why I did it, and so forth. I actually just got done moving my entire setup around, retucked all my wires. It took me 2 whole days, but I think it's going to work out a little bit better than the way I originally had it, especially in my room, as I'm limited on space as I am. So this video is going to kind of cover all that. And I'll go in depth of everything on my rig, and I'll even put descriptions and links to everything in my description below, so that way you can go and find most of the stuff, all the stuff you can find, especially if you live in a major city. You can pick all the stuff up probably in the same day. So check out this video. Like I said, I'm gonna go in depth with everything that I have as far as my rig, and we'll go from there. All right, so first I'm gonna talk about the rig itself, since that's pretty much the main component of this entire operation. So this rig is the SimLab TK1 setup. You can buy this at any of the Micro Center stores that I was showing earlier in this video. And I actually found this used on Marketplace. This rig goes for, I think, bare bones, I think right around $800, and that is not including the seat. So I scored a really good deal on the monitor stand and the rig itself. This only comes in green for this particular model. It's like a tribute to, I think it's an F1 driver, I believe it is. But then you can get this mat that goes with it. Like I said, I got all this in a really good bundle. So luckily Marketplace scored big time when I saw this and grabbed it up while I could. So there's a lot of different options out there. You can go from having a little mini setup that goes in front of your television all the way to something like this. It all depends on how much you want to spend. This here, this is an expensive setup, with a ton of adjustment. And that's the cool thing about it. Like, the shifter arm, you can move this up and down. You can move this back and forth. Same thing with the wheel mount. You can move that up and down. The legs are even adjustable, so they can go up or down. Just has a ton of adjustment. Even the control, even the keyboard mount, like you can go up and down. Same thing with the monitors. They can go up or down, forward, closer, anything like that. Like, this has every bit of adjustment you could ever want. If you're somebody that, is either really, really tall or really, really short, you can always move stuff around to make everything comfortable for you. So, but like, this is the SimLab TK1. I'm going to put the link, it's in the description for this particular model. Like I said, it runs right around $800 bare bone. So you'll have probably another $100 in a seat. And then all the extras, keyboard mount, mouse mount, the carpet, the wheel holder, all that comes separate out of it. All right. So let's cover the controls. There are a ton of wheel pedal options out there. And like I said, once again, this is going to matter on how much you want to spend at the end of the day. There's options out there that's $100. There's options out there that's over $1,000. And like I said, it all depends on what exactly you want to spend. So I kind of went mediocre with some advice from a couple of friends on what I should do. So I ended up going with Moser Racing. Moser Racing's probably one of the biggest manufacturers out there for sim racing stuff. And they have different, and like I said, they have different options, whether an R3, R5, it goes all the way up to over 1,000. And it's all about the intensity of the driving motor. So this is what they consider the R5 bundle. So the R5 bundle gets you the base for the intensity, feeling the wheel. And then it also gets you the gas and brake pedal assemblies. Now, with this, you do have to buy the clutch pedal separate. Luckily, it is super cheap, and it's a matter of adding 2 screws and running a wire that plugs into your existing pedal setup. So it's relatively easy to add. And it's also configurable too. You know, if you need to move it, you know, move certain places, it has a ton of adjustment. Now, particularly this wheel does not come with the R5 bundle. The wheel that does come with it is very, very small. The biggest thing I can describe it is it's like it's almost like a go-kart wheel. It's probably like that compared to this. It's very, very small, which some people might like that for, you know, racing and like if you're doing any type of sim racing. I really wasn't a fan, considering I haven't done really a whole lot of sim racing with this thing yet, and I've been focused on trucking, obviously, as you see if I run an American Truck Simulator. So what I ended up doing was Moza came out with a full-size truck wheel to go for that game. So I ended up buying this truck wheel. I think it was right around $200 extra. The R5 bundle was right around $800 total. And then adding the clutch pedal, I think I probably had $850 in the R5 bundle, plus that wheel that I bought. And like I said, this is a full-size wheel, leather wrapped, all my controls. You can virtually do anything off of this. It has all the indications for turn volume up, headlights, turn signals, cruise control, and then it's got a lot of dummy buttons. And then it actually has an RPM indicator as well that goes up there if you if you do want to use it for racing. You know, like I said, it's a bigger wheel, so you may not like that, but this thing works great. With Moza, it does include their pit house setup, so you literally can go in here and change all these different settings to like sensitivity, torque output that comes onto the thing that goes through the wheel. You can even change the colors of the buttons, pedals, same way. And then that's just little stuff here and there, but like you can adjust everything. They can make a sequential gearbox that you can buy as well too, and a handbrake. And they actually have the multi-function stalk, which goes with the American Truck Simulator, which I haven't ever done just because I have the wheel already. But you have endless amounts of adjusting to how you like your driving, basically. So then going back to that. So, like I said, there's many options out there for wheels. I went with this option and then just added the truck wheel to it. And, you know, I still get force, you know, I feel the intensity through the steering wheel, you know, of the road, the surface, you know, anything like that, like you're in a real life car, basically. But, all right, so let's talk about shifters now. So, underneath it all, I'm using the Moza Racing 7-speed shifter. I have it covered up by this Mishimoto shifter boot just to clean up things a little bit. Like I said, at the end of the day, once again, being a dead horse here. It all depends on how much you want to spend. I kept wanted everything to be the same, so I used their shifter. Like I said, they make that shifter, they make a sequential shifter that you can use as well in the racing. If you're doing a lot of sim racing and stuff like that. So, like I said, there's only one version of this shifter. Comes with a nice black round ball that screws on. Obviously, I have modified mine. So, mine has the sim panel semi-shifter, which has a thread adapter that threads onto the existing shifter. This goes over top of the threaded adapter, and then there's a bolt that goes on the back side here that just bolts to the and holds it in place. Basically, I actually need to tighten mine down. I just got done moving everything, but it's got the up-o, you got high-low switch, and then you have your Jake brake toggle. So it works very well. It's all USB connected, so it works exactly like it should, other than you just have to program it into your settings if you're running American Truck Simulator. So then the other thing that I added as well is the other option from Sim Panel, which is their Sim Panel button box. You can find these on Amazon for about $300. I think it's right around the going rate. I ended up scoring this off Marketplace, another Marketplace find, and they only paid like $100 for it. So, but this is their top of the line, has all the options: key, move, air valves. You can program these two buttons to do whatever you want. I have actually for my air suspension for front and rear. Everything else works. Even the CB works as well. So when I'm playing ATS, I have that plugged into the back of my computer on a dedicated output. So that way, if I talk to anybody, I can actually talk to people through that instead of my headset. But it came with originally a clamp mount setup, and I took half the clamp setup off, found some bolts that were long enough to reach the little screws that go inside of these tracks here, which my entire rig has everywhere, and then just bolted it to the side and made it work like that. I have never seen anybody else ever do that before, so I just kind of went on a limb and said, oh, I wonder if this works. Well, it works. So it's kind of high right now. I actually need to lower it a little bit compared to where it was, because it's kind of sitting right above my monitor right now. But as far as for that stuff, there's that. All right, let's go to the monitors now, where all the magic happens. Once again, it's all about cost. It all depends on, how extreme you want to go with your sim rig. Do you just want to run off one television screen or one computer monitor? Do you want 2 monitors, or do you want 3 monitors? Luckily, when I picked up this sim rig, it actually came with the monitors already. So literally, I pretty much had no choice in what I got. So, but luckily, I really, really lucked out with this setup, because this was a very, very, very good deal for the whole entire setup. So I said, it was going to work. So these are 31.5-inch MSI curved monitors. These were right around $250 a pop, brand new. But they are 1080p. I think they're 180 hertz monitors, so they have some good hertz as far as, refresh rate and stuff like that. Compared to a lot of there's some more expensive options out there, for if you want more hertz. But they work for what I have, basically. The biggest thing is with trying to adjust monitors, I had a hell of a time trying to get my monitors to line up properly. They're close. They actually need adjusted again, because like I said, I just moved this entire setup. But They had originally just some bolt-on bolts that bolted the monitors to the rig itself, and I ended up going back up to Micro Center and picking up a set of SimLab adjustable monitor mounts. And these have all kinds of adjustment on them to where you can get your monitors basically spot on to be even with each other. I mean, you have this pin that slides the monitors over and under. These bolts push the monitor left or push the monitor right, and you even have bottom adjustments to raise and lower the monitor up and down. So they have a ton of adjustment, and that's really ideally is what I needed to get my monitors back straight. The previous owner that had this, the monitors were never straight, and they struggled to get them correctly where they are. Like I said, mine are close. I just need to do some fine tuning. Like I said, I just with moving this entire setup, everything got moved. So, but I ended up buying those things at Micro Center. I think they were like $50 or $60 for the mounts. So, they're all the same. You just have to fiddle with it to get them exactly right, and they all will have to be tweaked. But the mounts work, the monitors work good. So like I said, there's many options out there for different monitors. Run on one TV, run on 3 monitors, or run on whatever your setup is. This is basically how mine was built. Luckily I lucked out with getting this rig and the monitor and monitor stand as a whole. So I pretty much built off of what the previous owner built off of, and made it basically mine at the end of the day, and just a few tweaks here and there. All right, let's get into the really, really, really complicated portion of this setup, which is the computer itself. Now, so like I said, once again, there's many options out there. It all depends on what you want to spend as far as money on a computer. Now, what you spend on a computer is really, really going to factor in what you can actually do. With a setup like this, having 3 monitors plus that, you will need a higher performing computer at the end of the day that would be able to run all of these monitors and not sacrifice any of your game graphics, performance, any of that stuff. So this particular one I bought used from a buddy of mine. It's an Alienware, which is owned by Dell. It has the Ryzen 7 with the GeoForce 3070. I would definitely recommend not going any lower than a 3070 if you're planning on doing any type of PC gaming of any sort. I think the newest one is a 4090 graphics card that's out right now. Ideally, I probably need to upgrade now, just because this computer is a couple years old. And over time, stuff gets wore out. It's just like a car at the end of the day. And, if you need to replace internals or anything like that, it's pretty easy. I could really take this same setup and just replace the internals, the fans, and the heat material and stuff that, that's compromised due to heat, because obviously this thing generates a lot of heat. We were running last night, I think it was around 170 degrees, my GPU temp was. So, it's exposed to a lot of heat, and it works. But, it still works. Everything performance-wise, it does great. Just down the road, probably next year, I'm probably going to have to upgrade once more updates and stuff like that come out. But that is my setup as far as my computer. It's got 1 terabyte of RAM, so I have plenty of terabyte and a terabyte of memory. So, but that is my computer. That's the heart of everything that makes everything run. So just a little bit of the little basics here that's just been added. Like I said, the keyboard mount is separate from buying from the rig. It's just something that you can buy separately, which mine came with mine. So I ended up buying this little cheaper Logitech wireless keyboard. Like I said, I don't use my keyboard a whole lot for my setup, other than using like the escape button and a couple of the F2, F3, F4 options, you know, for ATS. So like I said, it's something necessity you don't have to have, but it's nice to have. The carpet, like I said, that also does not come with the rig. You can buy that separately. Mine luckily came with my setup, so it actually kind of protects the carpet underneath from how heavy this setup is. Mouse mount, same thing. Does not come with the rig. You can buy that separately. Mine luckily did come with it. I have been using the Red Dragon wireless mouse with mine. It does light up and stuff when it is actually turned on. This mount actually, I think it comes with it, but I'm not 100%, but it came with my setup. They do offer a phone holder and a drink holder for this setup, but I instead went to Harbor Freight and got this magnetic drink holder that is way cheaper than buying it for the mount, and luckily, you know, it mounts right to it and it doesn't move. So that's my drink holder now for that. Like I said, the shift boot and stuff I got from Summit Racing, just to go over my sub, just to keep it clean. And the other thing is I have some LED lighting that goes underneath the rig. That's powered by GE Sync. It syncs to music and stuff like that. And a lot of the wire tucking I did, you know, I wire tucked all that stuff with the wire loom, and I really haven't figured out what I'm gonna do with the power cords and stuff like that yet, as far as bundling them up. But it's pretty clean for what it is, you know. But anyway, that is my setup. Pretty simple. If you have any questions, like I say, you're more than welcome to leave a comment. I can be gladly to answer those questions. You know, for what you should do, you know, if you have any issues or are stuck on doing something, you know, just let me know. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. My setup, like I said, I get a lot of questions about this, so hopefully this answers a lot of what I have, because I get constant questions all the time. Hey, what's your setup? So here's my setup. So everything will be in the description that you can buy for this to replicate this exact setup. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in another video here soon.